The file clerk thought it was a simple data entry error. Agent Miguel Rodriguez was listed as missing, presumed dead in 1995, yet his daily patrol reports continued flowing into Border Patrol headquarters until 2004. Same handwriting, same badge number, same detailed observations. But Rodriguez had disappeared 9 years earlier. But Rodriguez wasn't the only Border Patrol agent filing impossible reports. When DHS investigators dug deeper, they discovered a pattern that stretched across 3 decades and involved agents who had been declared dead, missing, or transferred to classified operations that officially never existed. Sandra Williams pulled another box from the towering stack in the Department of Homeland Security basement archives. March 2005, 6 months after the massive bureaucratic merger, and someone needed to organize decades of inherited Border Patrol files. As a GS-12 administrative specialist, Sandra prided herself on catching discrepancies others missed. The red flag appeared when she cross-referenced Agent Miguel Rodriguez's personnel file. Badge number BP7429 showed continuous employment from 1989 through 2004, regular evaluations, pay increases, perfect attendance. But stapled to the front was a missing person report dated November 16, 1995. According to the report, 32-year-old Rodriguez had vanished during night patrol near Laredo, Texas. His Border Patrol vehicle was found the next morning, engine running, driver's door open. Radio, service weapon, and personal effects inside. Rodriguez was gone. The search lasted 3 weeks. Border Patrol, Texas Rangers, helicopters with thermal imaging, river dragging, no trace ever found. Official conclusion: death in the line of duty, likely drowning while pursuing smugglers. Rodriguez's wife, Carmen, received survivor benefits. His name went on the memorial wall. Except Rodriguez had apparently continued reporting for duty every single day for 9 more years. Sandra opened the database and searched Rodriguez's badge number. From November 17, 1995, the day after he was declared missing, through December 31, 2004, Miguel Rodriguez had filed 2,847 daily activity reports, requested overtime 156 times, and completed quarterly training requirements. She spread his file across her desk. Missing person report dated November 16th. Next page, daily activity report dated November 17th, signed by Monsieur Rodriguez in identical handwriting. 1800 to 0600 hours, Sector 7 patrol, weather clear, 68 degrees. 2 groups observed crossing near mile marker 23. Pursued on foot approximately 400 yards before subjects returned to Mexican side. No apprehensions. Sandra compared the handwriting to Rodriguez's 1989 employment application. Perfect match. Same signature, same abbreviations, same formatting as his earlier work. Her supervisor, Deputy Director James Morrison, arrived within the hour. A 23-year immigration enforcement veteran, Morrison examined the files with methodical precision. "This is impossible," Morrison said. "I helped coordinate the Rodriguez search. We found his truck, his gear, everything except him." Sandra handed him a thick folder. "There's more. Activity reports from 1996 through 2004. All here. Someone was doing his job for 9 years." Morrison flipped through professionally written, factually detailed reports signed with Rodriguez's badge number. A report from August 1998 documented a major drug seizure. 2 tons of cocaine, 8 arrests. Sandra had checked DEA records. The bust actually happened. Rodriguez was credited as arresting officer. "That's impossible," Morrison said. "Rodriguez was declared dead 3 years before that operation." Sandra pulled another file. "It gets worse. He received commendations in 1999, 2001, and 2003. Promoted to senior Border Patrol agent in 2002, someone accepted the ceremony on his behalf." Morrison called the Inspector General's office immediately. Within 48 hours, a joint DHS-FBI task force took over. Special Agent Diana Chen, a forensic accountant specializing in government fraud, assembled handwriting experts, computer forensic specialists, and veteran investigators. Handwriting analysis confirmed Sandra's suspicions. Every report filed under Rodriguez's name between 1995 and 2004 was written by the same person who signed his original employment documents, but that person had been missing for 9 years. Payroll investigation revealed more disturbing details. Rodriguez's paychecks were direct deposited into an account showing regular activity throughout his disappearance. ATM withdrawals, bill payments, consumer purchases, as if Rodriguez was living normally. Financial records showed routine transactions, suggesting someone with intimate knowledge of his personal finances. Chen expanded the investigation to other missing Border Patrol agents. What she found defied explanation. Agent Robert Flores, missing since 1987, had continued filing reports until 1995. Agent Susan Martinez, declared dead in a 1992 vehicle accident, submitted activity reports through 1998. Agent David Kim, missing since 1989, received performance bonuses every year until 2001. 17 Border Patrol agents had continued official duties long after being declared missing, dead, or transferred to classified operations. The pattern stretched back to 1975, involving agents from California to Texas. Chen interviewed Carmen Rodriguez, Miguel's widow, who had remarried in 2001. Carmen broke down when shown copies of her missing husband's post-disappearance reports. "I buried him in 1995, she sobbed. "They gave me a flag and told me he died serving his country. How could he be writing reports for 9 more years? Carmen confirmed she'd never received contact from Miguel after his disappearance. She had no knowledge of his continued employment or deposited paychecks. "I thought the money was survivor benefits." Bank records told a different story. Someone accessed Miguel's account, but never in person. All transactions through ATMs in remote border towns, always at night, always where surveillance cameras malfunctioned or were offline. Chen interviewed Rodriguez's former colleagues. Several remembered strange incidents from the late 1990s, reports of Rodriguez being spotted on patrol, despite being officially dead. Sightings were brief, usually at night, and witnesses were questioned about their reliability. Former agent Thomas Walker provided the most detailed account. "I saw him 3 times, always driving the same green and white Border Patrol vehicle, always along the same stretch where he disappeared. When I radioed for confirmation, dispatch said no agents were assigned to that area." Walker described one encounter in detail. 2 a.m., March 1999. "I was checking sensor alarms near mile marker 23 when I saw his truck. Rodriguez was standing by the fence, looking toward Mexico. He turned when I approached. Same face, same uniform, same badge number. But when I called his name, he got in his truck and drove away." Walker tried reporting the incidents, but his supervisor said Rodriguez was dead and suggested he was seeing things. After the 3rd sighting, Walker was transferred to a different sector for his mental health. Similar sightings were reported by agents throughout the southwest border. In each case, the reporting agent was transferred, disciplined, or encouraged to seek psychological counseling. Official position: grief and stress caused hallucinations. But the reports continued being filed, signed, and processed. Chen's breakthrough came accessing classified Border Patrol operations from the 1990s. Buried in a restricted database, references to Operation Ghostwatch, a program using non-standard assets for border surveillance. Program files were heavily redacted, but Chen pieced together its basic structure. Ghostwatch appeared to use agents officially declared dead, missing, or transferred to maintain surveillance in high-risk areas where normal patrols were too dangerous. Limited documentation showed agents recruited for Ghostwatch were told families would receive full death benefits while they operated under deep cover for extended periods. The program combated sophisticated smuggling operations that had infiltrated official Border Patrol communications. Chen found one unredacted memo dated September 1995, 2 months before Rodriguez's disappearance. Signed by a blacked-out sector chief, it authorized transition of Agent Miguel Rodriguez to special assignment status, effective November 16, 1995. The memo's final line chilled her. "Agent Rodriguez understands his official status will be listed as missing, presumed dead for operational security." Family notification protocols will proceed as standard. When Chen confronted Border Patrol headquarters, the response was swift. Operation Ghostwatch was classified beyond her clearance, investigation was being transferred to Joint Intelligence, and Agent Chen was reassigned to white-collar crime in Denver. But Chen had made copies. Before leaving Washington, she met investigative journalist Marcus Webb. Chen provided copies of Rodriguez files, Ghostwatch documentation, and evidence of 17 other agents working after official deaths. Webb's Washington Post investigation 6 months later sent shockwaves through immigration enforcement. Headline: Ghost Agents, How Border Patrol Faked Deaths to Create Covert Surveillance Network. The article revealed Operation Ghostwatch operated from 1975 to 2004, using agents who volunteered to disappear from official lives for deep-cover border operations. Agents were told they participated in classified national security requiring absolute secrecy, even from families. In exchange, agents received double pay, combat bonuses, and promises of family financial security. The operation allegedly combated corruption within Border Patrol ranks and identified smuggling networks compromising official channels. But Ghostwatch had evolved into something darker. The program became a dumping ground for agents discovering sensitive information about government complicity in drug trafficking, human trafficking, and arms smuggling. Rather than transfer or discipline these agents, supervisors declared them dead and sent them to Ghostwatch for monitoring and control. Rodriguez had stumbled onto evidence that his sector chief was providing advance warning to smuggling operations. Rather than investigate their supervisor, Border Patrol leadership decided Rodriguez posed a security risk. November 15, 1995. Rodriguez was approached by 2 men claiming to be Border Patrol Internal Affairs. They recruited him for a classified operation exposing corruption in his sector. He would need to disappear convincingly, letting colleagues and family believe he was dead while working undercover to gather evidence. Rodriguez agreed, believing he served his country and protected fellow agents. He spent 9 years in border safe houses, filing reports on smuggling activities and Border Patrol corruption. Handlers told him the investigation was ongoing, and he would eventually return to family once the operation completed. But the operation never ended. Rodriguez and other Ghostwatch agents became permanent assets, too valuable to release, too dangerous to ignore. They knew too much about official corruption, classified operations, and government complicity in border crime. Operation Ghostwatch was officially terminated December 2004, coinciding with DHS creation. Program assets were transitioned to other assignments, though assignments remained classified. None of the 17 identified Ghostwatch agents ever returned to their families. Carmen read Webb's article with hope and horror. If Miguel was alive, where was he now? If he'd worked undercover 9 years, why hadn't he contacted her? If the operation ended in 2004, what happened since then? She hired private investigator Sarah Martinez, former FBI, to continue searching. Martinez's investigation led to border safe houses, abandoned government facilities, and classified contractor operations, suggesting Ghostwatch agents were transferred to private security companies working for CIA and DEA. Martinez traced leads to an Arizona compound operated by Desert Shield Solutions, a defense contractor specializing in border security consulting, employing former law enforcement for classified homeland security operations. When Martinez attempted visiting the compound, armed guards turned her away, claiming sensitive government work. Satellite imagery showed extensive underground facilities, vehicle maintenance areas, and residential quarters for approximately 20 people. Martinez's investigation ended when 2 men claiming to be DHS visited her. They said she was interfering with ongoing national security operations and warned continued investigation could result in federal prosecution. Carmen never learned what happened to her husband. The investigators' final report concluded Miguel was likely alive but involved in operations so classified that locating him would be blocked by federal authorities. In 2018, 13 years after the Post article, Carmen received an unexpected visitor. An elderly man claiming to be Miguel's former Border Patrol colleague said he had information, but could only share it if she promised never to repeat it. The man told Carmen that Miguel died in 2007 during an Afghanistan operation. Ghostwatch agents were transferred to CIA programs using experienced Border Patrol personnel for overseas counterterrorism. Miguel volunteered for a Pakistan mission and was killed by an IED. He never stopped trying to come home, the man said, but by the time he realized what they'd done, it was too late. They owned him. They owned all of us. He left behind Miguel's wedding ring, a letter in his handwriting, and a photograph of him in military gear with an obscured face. The 2006 letter, addressed to Carmen, explained he couldn't return because he'd become involved in operations requiring permanent secrecy. "I thought I was serving my country," Miguel wrote. "I thought I could come back and explain everything, but they never intended to let any of us go. We know too much about what really happens at the border, about who controls smuggling operations, about which officials are involved. We're not agents anymore. We're prisoners with badges." Handwriting experts authenticated the letter. Photo forensics confirmed it was taken in Afghanistan or Pakistan between 2005 and 2007. The man matched Miguel's height, build, and visible characteristics, but facial recognition was impossible. Carmen never received official confirmation of Miguel's death. His name appears on no military casualty lists or CIA memorial walls. According to all government records, Miguel Rodriguez remains missing and presumed dead as of November 16, 1995. As of 2024, Operation Ghostwatch has never been officially acknowledged. DHS maintains the post-investigation was based on fabricated documents and unreliable sources. Border Patrol denies any agents were recruited for covert operations involving faked deaths, but former agents continue reporting sightings of officially dead colleagues along the border, always at night, always involving agents who shouldn't exist. Carmen continues living in San Antonio. Every November 16th, she visits the Border Patrol Memorial Wall where Miguel's name is engraved alongside other agents who died in duty. But Carmen no longer believes Miguel is dead. She believes he's out there somewhere, still filing reports, still serving a government that erased his existence. She believes Operation Ghostwatch never ended. It just became more sophisticated at hiding its assets. In her bedroom, Carmen keeps Miguel's final letter, wedding ring, and the business card left by DHS agents who warned off her investigator. The disconnected phone number gets called every month anyway. Sometimes she swears she hears breathing before the line goes dead. The file clerk's discovery revealed more than a data entry error. It exposed a truth the government never intended anyone to find. Some people disappear by choice, others by force. But the most dangerous disappearances are when someone continues existing officially while vanishing completely in reality. Miguel Rodriguez filed his last report December 31, 2004. But somewhere in shadows of operations that officially don't exist, his work continues. And he's not the only ghost still on duty.